Alright,
Alright,
this is
this is RT
TI
in New York City, alongside Saroja from Parrot. Parrot meaning what most people, including myself, know as India. Parrot is the original name of India before the Caucasians went over and changed things around. We already know how that goes and how that works throughout history. So what I'd like to put on the map tonight in regards to the agenda that's on tonight's call, this is basically a series that Saroja is going to be pretty much putting out there information from a variety of, things that she so chooses to go into on certain topics. This is something that I believe is educational as well as entertaining to some people. But for the most part, we like to edutain. That's a word that was created by a famous hip-hop artist here in New York City, the Bronx, namely KRS-One, came out with a name. He pretty much spliced the words education and entertainment, and he made it edutainment. So this is basically what's going on here on this call, and for the most part, we're going to keep going with a series with Saroja and myself, and we're going to pretty much explore certain topics, give our opinions on it, break stuff down, bring information to the table that maybe some people didn't know, and for the most part, create a motivation to want to research things for yourselves, not just take our words for it, but just get up and go to the internet, search things for yourself, connect the dots, and come to your own conclusions. So, Roja, whenever you're ready, feel free to take the floor.
Thank you, Arti. Hello, everyone. I am Saroja calling from India. The other name for our country, or the original name for our country, is Bharat. 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 So I'm calling from Bharat. The topic today that connects me with RT is what is referred as targeted individual. So many folks may not have heard. What this is there are people who are covertly exerting some bad influence to get that individual down, to get that individual's opinions down, to get that individual grouping up with similar things to succeed in society or in the country. And this is what is going on. This is live and very well. And anybody would be surprised at if I tell them and they go, well, yeah, okay, I got something to do, I'm going to go on. Even if I were in your shoes, I would have done that. And now that I am a victim of it, and the crimes went on to get me down, to hurt me, to hurt my personal life, to hurt my career, to hurt my influence or at work or even at home, my relations. These all things are being constantly manipulated by a group of people with a group of devices, with a group of, with a set of technology that constantly hovers around, and that it in and itself is a business. For example, corporate espionage, when I heard it when I was like quite a few years ago, like a couple decades ago, it didn't make much sense to me. I was young and then, just getting ready to come into the work environment. But as time progressed, and I see that a number of companies are participating in it, when they targeted me, and then things started becoming overt, torturing, instead of, covert torturing, it became overt torturing, and I could see who was doing it. And I tried to reach out to the journalists, and because the police and the sheriff and all those people were the ones who were hovering around, hurting me with the directed energy weapons or the remote weapons like laser beam or stuff on those lines. And not only that, and they are doing it even in night when I'm asleep in my own home. So they have these energies that cast through the walls of the homes that I didn't realize until I started seeing those people constantly hovering over me. And these are like veterans. These are, when I go to movies, there are people following. There are just the families, which I didn't know. They were not even following me, but something happened and they immediately took out the weapons and they're aiming at me and they're hurting very much. There are like different kinds of weapons or the energies or the technology that you don't know how to explain it, and that information is not available. And those information, they look like a defense level technology in the devices. The Stasi kind of techniques that are used in World War II. And they're up and running, and most everybody is using it. And the Trump supporters seem to be going wah, 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 wah about it. So the time frame that I was over there, I saw the competition between Hillary Clinton as a candidate and the Trump as a candidate, and I knew who they were around decades. So it didn't make sense, and then things unexpectedly came out, like Trump came out, and then Trump supporters, how they were voting around us and all that, and now how they are suffocating me, they're following around in the neighborhood also, and then the things that I had seen on TV and stuff started coming together. Oh my God, these people are not what they portray themselves to be as like the world's best decent humans or the race. And then on the behind on the back of the curtain, the whole entire race and the country is behind it to pull themselves up. They are not working to make themselves good at the down to the bottom to the legwork. No, legwork is getting done by someone else. Only the control part, covertly, all overtly, they are wanting to do it. And some of those individuals who come in their way or who stand up, stating all men are equal, or their opinion or their land is beautiful as well. Those things are all those items. When someone says, they target those people. They do not want anybody to honor other side. It is only their side. You have to see what is the history, how things have been shaping up the nations and stuff like that. This targeting, this torture, subjecting the individuals without their knowledge, or after some time with their knowledge, it has spread to almost all the countries now, maybe 98%, 97% of the countries. So I just wanted to shed some light on how is it going on, what is it doing, whether, we already know that this is against humanity, this is towards the destruction, this is towards some people acting like God and holding the control, and they do have these weapons, let's say like directed energy weapons or neural weapons. And those things, they can incapacitate any single person. So, for example, you might have heard these shootings in the high schools. Okay, so these folks can control your mind using electromagnetic field. Obviously, we are earthlings, and so our body is made of like water and all the elements and the calcium in the movement in our body compared to other organisms and stuff. And we think and those kind of things. But those things are being explored in what is called sleep study, okay? The words that you would hear in the general public are very misleading. They say it's a sleep study, but in the back, what it is humongous. It's so cruel. What they're studying is how to make in your sleep, to make you go deep sleep, to unfold your thoughts and the memories that you have collected you have acquired when you're a child, or the memory that you just hid some money away in some corner in the kitchen. Those kind of things, they can easily delete them. They can implant them. They can give you dreams, extra dreams. They can give you horrible pictures through your visual cortex. These are all things go on. So I know that it is hard for you to believe, but sooner or later, you will get to it. So we hope that you try to understand what it is. So this targeting individual is basically a group of people and the government, all these agencies. They label that person as, something odd, and it's internal. It's not that that person has done anything wrong, but these people pursue that as as something risky for them, and they go after that person. When they do that, what they do is the different agencies work together on this one, and that's what is called gang stalking. They work together. They work with the neighborhood home association kind of a thing, or this watchdog kind of a thing. Neighborhood weapons are involved. They have these devices with them. Covertly, of course, and the police is, coercing with them, giving the coordinates of where the traffic, looking at the traffic where the individual went. I mean, I tried to sneak away from them so that they wouldn't find me, because they're constantly showering me with the harmful energies on me, and I just want to get out of that burning thing or that hard thing. And they would just follow me everywhere. There's not even a single place I could hide. I tried to sleep even in the garage so that their beams cannot reach me. That didn't work out. And I put on the helmet. That didn't work out. So they're everywhere. If something has to come this far, this is not just a stupid thing. So now I call normal people as stupids now. They're not understanding what's going on around them, how the economy is working, who is doing what is this currency rate, why is this so. So the American folks who are enjoying the benefiting side of it, they are like, oh yeah, that's how it's going to be. Hey, what are you talking about? Targeted individual? Are you nuts? Okay, and they're getting paid for this, by the way, and they come on and try to bad comment us. And if we try to do something, then what they do is they label us as mentally ill. So we have to be very careful. First of all, we have to suffer their war, with our body and mind, that without them being present in front of us. And on top of it, we have to try to tell folks that what's going on, and the police don't hear it. Police doesn't hear. Rest of the journalists don't hear. And then when you come to dig with them, and you realize they know it. It's not something new. And some major folks that you would reach out to who are rich and stuff like that, they're also somehow part of it. Meaning, sometimes they, when they are doing this gang stalking to kill our influence or to kill our aura of living in our society, the other side may not, these people go and portray the wrong thing to them. Say, that person has a history, so we need to cover, so you don't need to meddle in. Such kind of thing. And so obviously the other person, no matter what I say, they're not going to see what I'm trying to say. And even if they listen and they are trying, then these targeting people will get onto them, and that person becomes targeted. And so they try to back off, but even then, to give them a good hit, these people do it for a long time. So for us, they do it for lifetime, and the people who come to try to help, they also do that. And knowing that the other people, the person, the next person, they start to back themselves up, back off from supporting and doing anything with us. So this crime is live and well, and this crime I believe, is originated from U.S. There's, since World War II, they've acquired people. Those scientists and all those people, they're like-minded people are there in U.S. and research has continued. Their scientific research has continued. Their weapons have been automated and made portable. They're available in the wars to be used. And those veterans, when they used them, then they came back. They don't cost much, those weapons anyways. So they have them handy. Now, with Trump coming up, the veterans are all wooting, woo, woo, woo. And so they're following around, and some of those families, they have these things, and they are taking them out when there is any sort of feel that they feel like, hey, who are you? You're an immigrant, that sort of attitude that's going on. So that is what is the targeting individual means. So, it has gone on with other countries also. So, the fact that it is global means it's not one person being hallucinating or have psychiatric problems. It is not so. I want to reiterate that. And then the question is, how is it that it has gone global level then? The thing is, that's the point that I want to get to. So, I'm in India now. I was targeted in the U.S. So I came back over here in India, and even through the plane, through the different places that when I came, flew in, wherever I stayed, everywhere the crime went on. The people are following me. And over here also they started, then it is not the Caucasian folk that is following me, then the localites, entire perps will be following. So there's, so much of a link. And so what has happened is that U.S. always has made these weapons, and they sell the weapons to developing countries for the hefty amount of money, and then all kinds of import and export deals. That's how they've been living. And then they had all these wars, South Korea, Vietnam, those kind of wars where, Iraq. They used all these weapons, but then the thing is, a lot of different countries are not doing any wars anymore, though they are acquiring, one here, one there, some kind of weapons to control domestic thing, but they're not buying. So these Americans are like, all these veterans who used them and they came back, they're like, woo, 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 those kind of people. What they are doing is they're changing the business because wars are not there anymore. Their weapons are not getting sold, so now they're getting into this kind of a business. It is all about the business, how to make money, how to be a middleman. They never want to do labor work. They never want to shoulder any hard work. When at any corporate in U.S., when the immigrant people are doing it, then they become immediately managers. My God, the supervisors. So the weapons that I'm talking about, or if you want to know more about them, you can, check out with the defense contractors that we have in the U.S., just around Virginia and the Washington, D.C. area. If you go around, you will see those contractors. There are like, I think, seven major ones. And they have a different kind of weapons or the flying capabilities that they have enriched this war kind of a world. And now that is trickling into security or global surveillance or new world order. Oh, we want to be leading. So it doesn't matter which nation it is that we want to be leading. So we want to be controlling all the individuals. We can control them through mind control. We can control them through physical radiation, and we can control them through neuro weapon. Try to get it, a neuro weapon. That neuro weapon, guess what? I'm not coming right in front of you and doing it. I'm doing it remotely, not just staying like two houses on the other side, but I'm just going to sit in some corner, like the other side, like in U.S., and I'm going to work with the internet and the satellite cell phone system, and I will reach to the individuals. Okay, they're going to use the individual part of radiations of sunlight. That it leaves no trace. You cannot see it, and then but yet it still passes through the walls, and now they have the precision as to directly hit one person's one leg versus not the other. If I, as a victim, try to cover on the other side, they still have perfected it in how to make the body suffer. So what they do is, in the night, they take away the conscious out. In other words, they put you in a deep sleep state or phase where until and unless they give me back my conscious, if you take a hammer and then, dodge it on my toe, I wouldn't know. My nervous system is being hijacked by them. So that makes me think of one of our actors, the way she died in a bathtub with a little water. Anyway, so these are all real, folks. This is what I'm trying to say. These are all real. Reality is even more real than what we are trying to explain to you. So to understand this, not just subjecting the individual, or, hey, my community, my group, we work covertly, but we want our kind of a children to grow, not your kind. To do that, they go around, the government is spending money. What they say outside is a different name, but what they do inside is different. You can go on YouTube, you can see a lot of whistleblowers in most these intelligence agencies or the security companies. They are trying to tell you. Well, some folks say, well, YouTube, we don't want to honor that one. If it is something in a published article or something, then we would go. We would take it. So why is that? We are not working with the system. That way, that common person has to listen to us. The thing is, police are also part of it. The whole network, the politician assigns, all these federal agencies come into picture, and what they do is that in the companies, they don't have to say that, hey, we are doing bad things. They will present it. No. This is for only good purpose of it, and they contract that thing out to people, to private groups, where the private groups have a lesser values, so they can do the sneaky things, the illegal things, and still they end up being the hiring company, not doing the illegal work. Do you understand how they're orchestrating it? So if this is the case, which it is, so how is humanity working through? Where is the humanity heading? Well, some of these countries, the way they work, they've always worked with weapons and stuff. Their humanity values are different. So that in Hinduism, we call it as dharma. So the Western dharma is different than Eastern dharma. Eastern culture, Western culture, they're different. So that brings me down, to China and this, coronavirus. But before I head in there, so the targeting individual is for life. They constantly or hurting your skin, your muscles, your bones, your head, your thought process, your sleep, your relations with others, and your jobs, your productivity, where I can sit, when I'm walking, doesn't matter. They're constantly stabbing, needling with the energy, burning our private parts, doing the remote neural stuff, meaning minor control, like when I want to go pee, when I want to go do other stuff, when I'm hungry. Those kind of senses also they are manipulating from outside. They can make us get into accidents where when I'm riding on my, two-wheeler, they quickly put me in sleep mode. In other words, the sleep mode means apparently our brain has some frequencies the way it works, and somebody, if they're around me, they can read it. They can read those signals, and then they can manipulate those signals like through the computer way, and then relate back to the brain by superimposing what the newer sense that they want me to be in, superimposing on the regular waves that they read in. So when it is relayed back to me, my brain takes it. There is no firewall. It reads it and it does accordingly without my interest. Meaning, so I've made a few videos already. So for example, if I'm there by the sink trying to wash my dishes, and they quickly, press the button that I need to go to urine. And quite wherever I go, whenever I go, it is there. And the urine part, like the urge, if I don't get the urge, or if I try to submit it, then just be there, and they will press it more. Then I feel that too. And when they have hyped it, and then I go to urinate, and if there is no urine collected, my organ still starts contracting. So it's not the full this thing. And the way that I'm feeling that I urge to go urinate, the urine is not there that much. So as an individual, as a victim, I know this is externally done. If you guys don't believe it, there will be a day when you guys get exposed to it. It will come out. It's just a matter of time. And you will realize, and this is very bad. So the thing as an independent person that I was doing is that I'm reading something. Well, I am into the mood of this one. Well, I'm in the mood of that. Well, I want to visit my friend. Or you want to read something and they constantly disturb you. Well, I want to sleep. They have some kind of a hearing in my brain, which is like the firecrackers going in. Or I'm already asleep, it's my sleep time, and they will wake you up for something. Or if there's a function that you want to go on, they will make you immediately feel so sleepy that there's no way. You just have to lay down. And when you lay down like a couple hours, you wouldn't even know what's going to be around you, because they put you in deep sleep and they read your brain that the events that thus far they have gone, they are there in your brain, and they try to read that in. What that means is that's a surveillance. I just went and had a meeting with a group of our people, it was validating, but these people didn't know what it is. It's a new person that I'm visiting, so they put me through this without my permission. This is like my privacy is out. They have stolen it. Okay, so is this constitutional? My foot, it is constitutional. Are they doing it? Very much so. And the general public, do they want to believe it? They don't want to believe it. And is that a problem? Yes, it is a problem. Until then, we will be suffering, and there will be time when the other people will be suffering. And that is the reason I have formed an NGO over here in Bharat. It is called Society of Safe Bharat Against Covert Torture and Energy Weapons. So we have a number of victims over here, and they've been victims for, like, their group is existing for the last 18 years. And they say, how the hell you guys haven't done anything? And I thought maybe, I went to the U.S., maybe something might have gone wrong. Maybe, this thing. But these folks, some of them, they've never stepped out of India. So how come that's going on? In the IBM, Accenture, Moody's, and etc., all those companies are over here, and these people are being hired by these companies. IT companies are hit the most. I mean, there are other people, they're all hit. And to some of the people, what they say, what these torturers say, is that, hey, your degree is fake. That makes me think that my last work with Citibank, that manager was saying something like that to me. I already have so much experience, and I can do just like that. You know, a lot of these questions that they ask in the interview, and he's like, "Well, you answered them so this thing," and he didn't seem to like it. And I think he is set me up with this. So the overt torture has started. There is this USPS that I worked before. That director also did something similar. They all, when we are there, when we go to urine, the restroom break, they follow us. They follow there, and they don't come out until I come out. And if I'm gone out and I want to go on the side and wait for them to see who it is, my God, they all have connection, and then I would never spot them. So anyway, a lot of torture had started within, and then outside, when it became overt, I saw who all were doing, and there are these 20s, 30s new Caucasians, and there's veterans involved. And believe me, this is, watchdog or neighborhood shadow government, right? So these people can hire almost any group to get this job done for little money. So they can make African American groups, shadow someone or say something irritating to them to gang stalk them, or they can set up, other Asian people, meaning the like Chinese or Japanese, those that side of the folks. They can make them, or the Mexican, they can make them and then play. So at a government level, they are playing so stupid that they never get caught because it all comes under like a normal thing, but they're manipulating a lot of things for certain individuals. And they have perfected it, and they have been expanding it. Guess what they're doing now? Now they're carrying that business to developing countries. They're presenting something else to them, but they're doing something different. So, these developing countries, they have come under the influence, and they're citizens. So for me, now, the people who are following me, I could see, like, different kind of a Indian, Bharatiya person. So how did this come this far? Well, how did this coercive torture, this is supposedly a crime, how did that start from Caucasian world to Bharatiya world? So, folks, when you see on YouTube people from Ireland, people from New Zealand, people from Australia, people from China, people from Fiji, everybody's complaining. They have same tortures, same MO. How is that possible? Well, you get it. So these Americans, after these wars, now they're not there anymore, so now they have changed it. They are catering this realm, the product and services business to the countries. They have hooked up with the home ministry of each countries, and they have made a deal, and they're covertly controlling. The running government, sitting government, doesn't know what these people are up to, because whenever we try to air out, these people wash it and ask us to go see a psychiatrist, and then the psychiatrist label, they corner us. It's not that the psychiatrist person, if the energy beam is passed on to psychiatric patients, it doesn't make him not feel at all. That's not true. Even if you take those tablets, you get hit. So I have, the victim sat over here in India, in Bharat, and they told me that it is not helping. For none of them, it is helping. And initially, when they go and take some prescription, these people, this targeting, they slow it down a little bit, okay, to make them feel that is working, that they should listen to the parents, and that it is real psychiatric stuff and stuff. But that doesn't stand long. Again, the torture continues, and it's same old, same old. So, folks, so this is a business. You can see the patents by the U.S. Pentagon. There are there are PDFs, there are many, and the way they torture and stuff. It includes physics, it includes radiation, it also includes bioweapons. all kinds of stuff that they have. So if you want to look up all these things, you just go on YouTube, type targeted individual or remote neural monitoring or directed energy weapons, gang stalking, deep state, shadow government, voice of the god, HAARP weaponized, HARP weaponized, no-touch torture, neural weapons, mind control weapon, Freemason, depopulation agenda, Tesla theory. You can see such words if you type, you will get slowly. It is vast for someone to figure out if they don't have physics, science, or these backgrounds. It is hard for them to grasp. But if you really take time, you will get it. You will get an idea what's going on, how much of it is true, how people are getting affected. And there are a lot of organizations all over the world, in different countries, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, UK, America, India, many, Chinese also. So a lot of countries have NGOs. So their police are also hiding all this stuff. So they have to. The only way for us to air out is by these NGOs, and so that should tell you that it is happening all over, and it's not like one person being delusional and telling you no. There are organizations. So what you can look up is like targetedjustice.com, PACTS, or FFCHS, Freedom from Court, tortures, Citizen AHT, Citizens Against Harmful Technology, covertenergytorture.org, Stop EH, electronic harassment, EH, meaning stopeh.blogspot, or covertharassment.org, or stop EG. So there are a ton more, folks. So that the point is there are a ton more. So once you know this, and if you start typing targeting individual, all these words that I talk to you, you will get good articles as well. And there are publications you will get. Not only people telling you that it's happening, but you will start seeing material. If you ask me, well, if you have material, why don't you go to court and get it? I think, well, there are a lot of people that are always being tried because of this. They somehow pay or the pimp the judges, and it hasn't happened, so it has taken thus far. There are some cases which have already been declared that the victim has suffered and all that. They are there, and if you go look up on the defense kind of material, if you look up the directed energy weapons, sonic weapons, non-lethal warfare, all those words, you will get idea about the weapons, who made them, what it can do, where it's being used, and then you will see a lot of real deal, like these whistleblowers, how they're getting targeted and tortured, what they do, and if they come from those particular businesses, they know the insider information, and they're putting it out to you. So if you look up like Dr. Robert Duncan, Dr. John Hall, or Paul Heller, he's a defense Canada ex-defense minister of Canada. There's Brian Tew. There's Catherine Horton, Edward Snowden, Harvey Weinstein. So if you guys look up those names, you will see that it's a real. This crime, this is real, and you measure people who you would think would be protecting us from this, they are the ones who are doing it. So you will see that. So there are like mind control. U.S. patents are there. There's this psychotronic warfare. Those kind of details in how they're doing, what they're doing. There's a whole lot more than what I'm trying to tell you. I'm only trying to give you guys a hint that it is real. Go look it up, and that come talk to us. Figure out how to deal with it, support this cause, because this is going to lead to New World Order, which is like controlled by someone with their interest, with their skin type of interest, with their dharma or the principles. That's what they value. And there's also this depopulation thing that goes with that, which is also happening, and it's been happening all along, which in U.S. folks, many folks know that they constantly do it. But for the Eastern culture, it is hard for us to believe because we don't believe in, this humane society. What they do is to put the animals to sleep. Okay, in the U.S. they do that. In Eastern culture, we don't have that. And that putting them to sleep of the Western culture has gone on to doing it onto humans also. They use this directed energy weapons on their knees or, do it on their heart. They can induce anything. When they do this, if we try to go see the doctor will tell you that, oh, it's normal, this thing. They don't tell you the real deal because they're also gang-staffed. So whole entire system is crooked in India and in America, and they've been doing it. So there are some videos where the victims literally they sit there and show you, oh look, this is happening to me. Wait, and they'll show you on their body when they're getting hit by the directed energy weapon. They can literally show you how that is happening. So there's that proof, but that proof is not enough in the court right now for us, because of all this gang stacking. So in order for us to beat it, there's just two ways, according to me. One is qualitative way, other one is quantitative way. The qualitative way is that if the police don't help me, I have a right to go to court. Court should honor my fundamental rights, like the privacy and free speech and all those things. So the thing is, the court will honor it, but then if I have to show them how it's being violated. So in India, directed energy weapons, though at the defense level something they have or they're buying it from the U.S., the information they have not leaked so that I could present it. So there's not an expert opinion that I can get from them. Experts like doctors, they could be expert if they can come and vouch for it. Or the scientific folks, they can come and vouch for it. Or the defense person who is already working and they say, yeah, we have this or we use this and this is what this device does. Well, yeah, this is the population, this is how we target. If any of such details, if they can come and do it, it'll work. Or any like a police line of people. Yes.
Pardon me, I just wanted to give you a heads up. We have about 15 minutes left. I want to keep it only an hour long. So I just figured I'd let you know that I send you some links. Like you said, you would have it by your side so you can check it out. I don't know if you see them. But I sent you some links in regards to the COVID-19. So we could kind of shut the call as a conclusion with that being topic at hand. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Artie. This subject is, so huge. Yeah. So how is that linked with the COVID-19 stuff that we are going through? It's that. So this targeting, they can bring your biogerms right to your nose. There are these magnetic particles, very nanoparticles. There are different technologies that you're not aware of. That is available. So we as victims, what we experience is that in past, I have made already videos where these criminals, they bring the bio stuff close to our nose so that we get infected. So this virus and all that, these people are capable of inducing this stuff to the innocent individuals without their knowledge, without them knowing it. So you may have heard this discrepancy of the minorities being, their death rate is being higher than the Caucasians or the majority of the people. That's all real. A lot of people, they don't want to say this is how it is, what it is, or they're not targeting individuals, they do not know. But we have some celebrities like, say, Oprah, or some folks have voiced it out that there is discrepancy. So they're, like online people start saying, oh, they don't have a health background. Oh, well, they're in a poor job. Well, they have a diabetes or pre-existing conditions like hypertension, my foot. Okay, there is this additional factor. Even the hypertension, diabetes is all can be induced using directed energy weapon. So these criminals have been working on for like weeks and months. They can initiate something in your body without your knowledge, and you could get cancer, you could get all kinds of stuff at all. So this is a real deal, folks. And in U.S., particular like African American focused states like Louisiana or Michigan, look at their death rates versus other states, or the place where the Indians are, like in New York, New Jersey, those kind of things. So I strongly believe that the common people, you need to look into more. There are a lot of crimes going on without your knowledge, and the technology has gone into defense level, and that defense level has being now deliberately applied back onto the citizens because they don't have wars anymore and they're itching to use them. So such things are going on. So please wake up. I'm sorry to say very abrupt because because of the time restriction, but it's a real deal. And also, let me tell you, the leak in China lab is honest leak, okay? But that is a COVID-19, but COVID-19 is meaning coronavirus, D as in Delta, it's a strain, and then 2019 is being, created. So I do have medical background. I have worked in the tissue culture and, all the PCR techniques and all that. So I'm trying to tell you, in North Carolina, they already had this coronavirus. The parent virus is from U.S. And the China has acquired, and then it is trying to do something, and that time something had leaked. So it's an honest mistake. They are from China, not trying to be New World Order. Hey, I have all the weapons. I want to use it against all the people that other kind, and my kind people, my kind of a skin color people are everything. We are the, like highnesses, and every other colored person should be serving us. That's what we deserve. That's what they deserve. No, they don't say that. Okay, you figured it out who says that, and track through the actions, track through the patterns, track through the wars, so you will see what it is. And then how is it that they perfected this crime so much, our health hunting and haunting, gang stalking, and there is what is called a vice to skull, where they biotelepathy into directly, they talk into you to harass you all the time, that you would lose a job and you would lose everything. They would affect the remote neural monitoring or the mind control of the people around you, so your relationships are manipulated. So you are basically cornered in the society. So, and they are leading. So this is very bad. And not only one person leading, they're leading as a group and race. So this is bad. This will get into destruction sooner or later. So I urge common person to look it up. This is all real. Please reach out to us. Look all those websites. Type the targeted individual, the torture suffering, all these keywords, and get those NGOs. Please reach out. Try to understand what your government is doing. They are supposed to be part of us, not the governors or the policing side of us. Though maybe our crimes are so at a traffic level and they are using it against us and then making the crime on us like 1,000-fold more, that's not acceptable. So please know how the targeted individual, how the governments are working, how this technique and the crime is going on, how it is ending up with our current situation of this COVID-19. Folks, please try to look into more. And this is all real, and you can reach out to me anytime. We have our website, support@covertenergytorture.org. You can reach out from there. Archie?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, Sistah Saroja, in regards to the COVID-19 virus, what is your opinion in regards to the type of strand it is? I know you and I spoke on it briefly. We skimmed the surface, so to speak, on it. And I remember telling you something about it being a mixture of SARS. I don't know if people remember the SARS virus. That was also an Asian phenomenon at one point. I forgot at what year that was, but I do recall it being used, like the H1N1 and things of that nature. But going back to the COVID, I understand it's a mixture of SARS virus and strands of the HIV virus, and I believe the bird flu, the swine flu, and things of that nature. What are your thoughts on how they went about creating such a thing, and do you feel that it could have been even created in the U.S. in Fort Detrick, Maryland, when supposedly that's where the AIDS virus was created?
Yes, I have worked with the research labs. I have done the tissue culture. I have done the PCRs. So basically, we can take any genetic material and assemble it to any living being, say, for example, like a bacteria or the fungus, where they grow a lot, so we can harvest that DNA or the antibodies that way. So this technology exists, and they've been doing it. So the coronavirus per se, virus means it's only the RNA, ribonucleic acid. It's not the DNA. You know, like we have DNA, the virus has RNA. The bacteria has a DNA, whereas virus has RNA. RNA means it's a piece of, code, like a small little 4 different bases that are linked. That kind of very minute, micro level genetic material, that you can cut that piece and put them into an organism. And so the virus is just the messenger RNA. You can cut them and create and do a lot of crafting. So the coronavirus, I believe, from what I read, is being, especially this one, corona, is the main strain, type of virus that they have lab produced. They are from North Carolina lab, from US. And the Chinese have somehow acquired it. And they try to add their pieces, I believe, from a rat and a snake. I think this is what I heard. They try to do it. And then obviously the lab has leaked, and then now we are coming down so much of devastations, and the deaths in U.S. are like 50,000. I believe when they had coronavirus over here in U.S., they must have tried to get some, medicine, some treatment for it. I believe they may have had a little, but they were not expecting this soon. And then especially those a mixture of this, that COVID has. So they were not able to contain. But then in the beginning, they didn't do the containment of the exposure, and now it has gone out of our reach. Whereas in India, in Bharat, as soon as it happened, we quarantined. There are some Muslim populations that deliberately wanted to spread it to ruin Hindus and stuff. That there's kind of a small internal quarrels. So immediately our government went after it and then contained. So our deaths like 6 at this time. It's like 775 deaths altogether, whereas in the US it's like 50,000 deaths. So yeah, it might take back all this world ruling and all that. It just might, the fingering might just point it back at US only RT.
Wow. When you said RNA, the initials RNA, you're referring to ribonucleic acid, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the?
How does that work?
I would like to just a brief synopsis because we're running short on time. We have about 4 or 5 minutes left for the hour's up, and I want to try to make it to that time frame, like you said, because you were absolutely right about making it kind of like an hour only. So, yeah, what are your thoughts in a concise manner? What do you feel is it that they go about using and deriving from different species of animals, and also just conjuring these things up together and splicing them together? How do they go about doing that? And the ribonucleic acid, how does that play a role in it?
So, the Earth has the life being on the Earth. It basically started like a minute organism, not organism. Things like RNA. It's not really a life per se. It's just some genetic material. Whereas the next generation is like, say, an amoeba or something, which is a unicellular organism. So per se virus is not even an organism, so it only has a material we call like RNA. It's not the same as what the living organism has. A living organism has a deoxyribonucleic acid. So this splicing and stuff, what they do is they take that piece and then join back that into like a bacteria, and then bacteria keep growing and that genetic material is available. They probably have put that back as a virus strain, and somehow it has leaked, mixing these kind of animal. And so what happens is that every human being have genetically their body knows what is the self and what is the non-self, meaning what is like from other people. When some stuff comes from other people or other animal, our body tries to fight it. Hey, it's not us, and it goes extreme, and then thinking that it is harmful to us, which it might be. And so that's where the destruction of human body comes, and that is what's being looted as a bioweapon by these countries, where they're trying to control the entire world. Control meaning, just don't say, hey, I'm the control freak and you just respect me. It's not so. It is like, hey, you do the legwork, those are the credits there for me. My dollar is going to be like 100 times more than your currency. That means 100 of you people have to be enslaving for me. That's what it comes down to. So this is a mass level killing, joining those things. This is all very harmful. I wasn't thinking this would come up this soon. I think even U.S. didn't expect this to be going global, taking the toll on different nations and the entire planet this soon. But this has happened. I think from China it is just simple.
Sistah Saroja, your thoughts on your final thoughts on the vaccine? Should people take it or should people not take it? Vaccines. Thus far we have done them on living organisms, like a DNA kind of a material, not on the virus, RNA kind of stuff, because again, RNA is not even an organism. Sorry, that virus is not even an organism per se. So it is hard to do vaccines for those. Even if they end up doing any such thing, I believe because of this new world order, they say something to you in the front side. They are saying the word, a very simple word for you, to thinking, oh, they're doing this good thing. At the back end, they are piggybacking with a lot of bad stuff. So they can identify you, or they are inducing something, or they want to test something on you, they want to experiment something on you that involves radiation, this and that and the other. So the world has become very bad place, and whoever is doing it, it is done by many people. Many people's hands are there. So who has done something covert, the next person doesn't know, and he's marketing in a different way. So if I were to be told that, hey, would you like to take that vaccine? I doubt that. I don't want to take that vaccine. Soon we might be able to figure out how to handle this in a home remedy kind of a way. There might be other remedies be available. So at this point in time, I'm not going to take vaccine. It needs to be perfected. It needs to go on. Even if it is done very perfect and it's all like harm-free and clinical tested and all that. No, I don't want to believe these government folks who are doing it, regardless how it is they are, what they're trying to do. I'm very leery about it, Archie. Thank you. My thoughts exactly on that. I just wanted to hear from your standpoint, from your medical expertise that you do have, and as far as your experience level, and also your research level as far as knowing about the New World Order. And there's people within my squad that, namely Night of Thunder, he came out and he said something interesting in regards to why is Bill Gates always involved in things like this? He's a freaking software engineer maker. He's a software maker. He's the one that makes software. Why is he involved in all this stuff? And then it dawned on him, and he said, well, wait a minute. Maybe he's going to incorporate and find a way to put a microchip within this vaccine. And that's why it would make sense that he's all in this whole vaccine propaganda thing. I just wanted to say that, put that on the record. And for people who are wary and doubt that, that's fine. You have a right to your opinion. But I do implore you to do your research before you judge someone that may have known something due to them looking it up first. Remember this. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And with that being said, I'd like to close the call and thank Sistah Saroja from Parrot for her insight, her input, you know what I mean? And this is part 2 to a series, as I said before, that we will continue to, doing in the near future as time goes on. And we will add on things here and there, different topics of that nature. Sistah Saroja, anything you would like to add on to that?
Thank you, Artie. Thanks for giving me a chance to talk about it. Overall, it's, an opinion from us being a victim as well as understanding our histories and all that. So, yes, I agree with you. The folks need to, to understand that when things are presented, hey, this is a vaccine, there might be much more into it, whether it's Bill Gates or someone else, because it is done by, a group of folks. What one has done, the other may not know about it. So you ultimately end up with very bad thing or depopulation thing or one world agenda. So folks, please try to understand what's going on. So you may not have a science background, this background, that background. Try to know that government is trying to hush up other people, that there might be reality into it, or there is reality to it. And then I promise you, please reach out to me if you want to know more, because this stuff is going on. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. And with all that being said, Sistah Saroja, when you get a chance, I will put in the links within the description box of this particular well, so people know how to reach you. And thanks once again for everything that you've done tonight, and much appreciated. If you don't mind standing by while I just shut the call down, we'll continue speaking privately for a little while. I don't work tomorrow, so I can do that now. That being said, this is RTTI in New York City alongside Sistah Saroja, and we will be coming at you with another one soon.
Thank you.